back, everybody. It's your boy Chip at RBA Vapes, and today we're talking about the Espion Infinite from our friends at Joytech. Now, I like to call this thing the Tron mod. Now, we've got a really cool product that we're going to be looking at. This is the Espion Infinite from Joyetech. And as you can see, it's got all kinds of cool stuff going on with the lights. So, this one has actually become one of my new favorites. I've been using it. But, you get spare bubble glass, O-rings, and a little fill spout there. You get an extra coil. This is the 0.4. It comes with the HWN, which is your net coil pre-installed. Then you got your 18650 adapters, because this is a 21700 device, and your USB to micro USB charge cable. So, very nice kit, very nice packaging. Let's jump into it with the meat and potatoes. So, you've got a really cool screen on here with your different LEDs all the way around it. It does show your time, your date, wattage, coil resistance, amp output, and you can change this screen to show different stuff if you want to. And then you can see the adjustment buttons are up here. Now, it does come with the newest version of the Pro Core. It's the Conqueror. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So to get into your menu, 1, 2, 3 clicks, and then you can see you've got mode, settings, your LED settings, and exit. So we're going to go into the mode. You've got power, temperature control, TCR, and RTC is your real-time clock. So you could do digital or the point clock, which is right there. Personally, I prefer the digital. That way you get the time up top there and some other good information. Or if you go to mode and you go back to power, you can see the wattage is right there. But the clock is still hanging out down here at the bottom. So your clock is still there. 1, 2, 3. If you go over to your settings, you got your coil, your actual power. You can do a stealth mode, turn the lights on and off. Your subpara, which allows you to change whether you want puff counter, timer, or the amp load. Obviously, I like the amp load. Then you have your clock settings, your preheat function, which is a new thing for Joyetech. You could do how long or how much power, how long you want it to go, and your timeout, which is for your screen. Then if you go here to info, that tells you your battery, what firmware version, and the color itself of the setting. So I've got it set on blue for obvious reasons. Now, the LED is really interesting. So your LED setting is really cool. You've got a bunch of different options. So switch here, you can do when you want it to come on. Here we've only got it when the screen's on. You can do just when you're vaping, or you can do always on, or you can do off completely. Then your mode. They have about 7 or 8 different modes. So I've got it on random here. You could do morph, which kind of fades in and out of each other. Glow, which fades in, fades out, and then switches color. And then they've got the SPE7, which is like your rainbow effect. That one's really cool looking, I think. And then the simplified version, the SPE3. Then you got wheels. Wheels actually goes all the way around. And you can set whatever color you want to that, or it'll just do random colors. Then you got fire, which goes bottom to top, and then switches color once it gets to the top. And you've got your moon setting, which you can actually individually pick the color. And this one's got like a RGB thing, so you can fine tune it a little bit more. Or you could just pick one of their stock colors. I like that blue there. And it's just what it is. And then you just go to exit. And then bright is what you think it is, the brightness of the LEDs. And then exit. So that's all your menu settings. As we talked about, it is a dual 21700 device. There you go. And it's really well made. It's got micro USB charging up there, your buttons, your fire button, and look at the recess they put on this, or the inset for the screen. It's framed out in this nice brushed aluminum here, and it's got some really good weight to it. It feels super hefty in the hand, and it's got some nice feel overall to it. So now I want to touch on this Procore Conqueror tank for a minute here. It's still a Procore tank, so it's got the nice slide fill feature, which I absolutely love. It's got your kind of snake skin, honeycomb drip tip thing going on there. Now this one, they've added a ton more airflow to. As you can see, it's super wide open right there. And it still takes all of your Procore coils. With this version, they did include the net, or the HWN coil, and the net is very similar to the Joyetech strip coils. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to the performance review. And there are a couple of issues I have with this tank right here, but I won't waste your time on that now. All in all, that's what you're looking at. So, now that we've had another close look at it, we're going to pull back and have a vape and talk about it. Now, obviously, you notice the cool screen. They call that the tunnel screen, and that's their new proprietary display. But it's got a nice color screen built into it as well. You know, it's a very slick looking mod all the way around. I really like the feel and the style of it. The specs on it are 140 millimeters top to bottom with the tank. You've got 33 millimeters front to back, and then 49.5 this way. So it can definitely fit a 30 mil tank on here, no problem. It's got the nice centered 510, as you can see, with the buttons up there. But it also has a really nice in the hand feel. It feels super sturdy and super well built, so kudos for that. The intuitive color display we showed you in the up close video, it's got all kinds of different options for the color display, and it's a really nice looking device. I like the color matched bubble glass that they give you. That gives it a 5.5 milliliter capacity, and the new coils that they're adding to this Procore series are really stepping the game up. The flavor on this Pro CD, which is their strip or net type of coil, it's not a true mesh because it's a flat strip with perforations in it as opposed to the square holes that the mesh has. But I personally think that adds a little bit more surface area, so I really like that Pro CD coil that they throw in there with it. Obviously, being a dual 21700 device, it does 230 watts, and it does have the adapter for the 18650s, but why go back? I think these new 21700 batteries are definitely the new standard in vaping. It's got a super quick ramp up time. You can see almost instantly from when I click the button, it's already ramping up. And that's at 3 volts. I like to run any of the mesh or strip or perforated coils right around 3 volts because I feel like that's the best combination of flavor and power for me. Of course, you do get the cool honeycomb resin type of drip tip with it. And the glass is color matched with all the tanks, so that's a super nice feature that they added to it. And the fill port we've talked about before on the Procore tanks. I love the slide function on this. You just slide it to the side and fill it right up there. Now you will have to take the drip tip off for any of your 100 ml or 120 ml Chubby Gorilla bottles, but that's a small price to pay in my opinion for being able to just slide it and not have to worry about the top coming off. Now in the kit they sent me, it also comes with the Procore CA, which we had in the Espion Solo kit as well. And it's a really good flavor coil. It definitely has a little bit of a lower sweet spot than like the mesh coils and the notch coils and those type of things, but all in all, for a round wire coil, I really like it. It's got a good amount of airflow, and it also allows you to be able to get traditional round wire coils if that's something you're into. It does take any of the Procore series of coils, which are Baby Beast size compatible type of coils. They've got the Procore C1, which is the one we tried in the Espion Solo with your 24 or 26 gauge round wire in it. Obviously your Procore CA, which is your net or strip type of coil. They also have a Procore 1S, which is more of a mouth to lung option. Then you got your C2, which is your two stacked next to each other. Your C3, which is your three in a circle, and your C4, which is your double barrel. So you got 4 coils stacked in there. Now I don't know if you could see this, but it does have a even bigger airflow than the original Procore tanks do, and this is the Procore Conquer tank, just in case you were wondering. It does have some interesting machining around the sides of the tank here, but all in all, I think this is another huge step forward. I don't think I've had any coil that I ran this completely wide open airflow wise, so it's definitely got plenty of airflow for anybody out there that's looking for more vapor production with these newer coils that are coming out. Now the micro USB is on the back here, you can see, and that is a 2 amp rapid quick charge. So charging up the batteries inside this thing is going to be super fast. Again, we always recommend using an outside charger, but in a pinch they say it does have a balanced 2 amp quick charge built into it. The stainless steel top and bottom on this are a nice touch too. It definitely adds to the sturdiness and the build quality that we're looking for, and I think they really hit it out of the park with this one. Of course, you can also do your firmware upgrades through your micro USB port on the back here. And it does have the overcharging, the overcurrent, and the over discharge or overvolting built into the board. So that's great safety features as always from Joyetech. So now that you've seen the parameters, we want to throw up the different colorways, right? Yeah. And you can see that all these colors are super cool looking. They all have the tunnel lights on them with the color screen, and it's just a phenomenally designed and set up mod all the way around. So let's talk about the pros and the cons. Obviously, the tunnel lights, the color screen, the build quality, the dual 21700 batteries, the Procore Conquer tank, the Pro CD coils, and just the overall fit and finish and color matching and everything, I got to give 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. I really like the way this mod is designed and laid out. It's super cool, super new age, and I think this is one of the coolest looking mods that they've come out with to date. The only other thing that I want to talk about, and we talked about it a little bit in the up close portion, it's the tank. Performance wise, I love it. There's nothing wrong with the way it performs. But if you look at the machining right around here and around here where it covers over the glass and you put your O-rings and everything, those actually stick up. So you can kind of get yourself caught on them a little bit. Again, this is a super nitpicky thing, but I noticed when I went to take the tank apart to change the coil or to clean it or anything like that, I did find that those edges were a little bit rough, and I could see potentially being a safety issue for some people. Again, this is super nitpicky because there's really nothing bad I can say about this, but I like the design of the tank and the little spires or blocks that they added in there. It looks really cool. It gives it like a Transformers kind of vibe, but I I don't know. I guess I wish they would have rounded a little more or maybe made them a little thicker so that it doesn't feel as much like a thin little blade type of piece that it is. But other than that, I really can't say anything bad about this guy. I really like this. It's got the new battery setups that I like. It's got a super cool look. It feels super sturdy and substantial. They just keep getting better and better with this Pro Core series of tanks, and I think this one has got the best combination so far of coil options and airflow. And I mean, at the end of the day, look how badass that looks. I mean, that is a dope looking mod right there. And they're all LEDs, so it's not going to drain your battery. This, I believe, is turned all the way down to 10% brightness, so you can see it's super bright. And you can turn it on and off, so if you don't like the lights, or you're in, you know, bed or a movie theater or something, and you're trying to be a little more incognito or stealthy, you could turn those lights off. You know, it's got all the temperature control, TCR, clock settings that you would want. It's got the ramp up. It's got the preheat function. It's got everything that you could possibly ask for in a mod. So I would have to say, for the summer, this might be one of the best selling mods out there. You can get yours with 10% off. I'm going to throw the coupon code up right across here. And you can get yours at shop.rvavapes.com. So other than that, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Click the little button so that you get notifications whenever our reviews come out on Saturdays. And as always, if you want to smoke, that's your business. If you don't, you know what to do.